getting that good source of protein to keep muscle mass up? How do I get it?
How do you do it?
I'm
Yeah.
busy working all day.
Yeah.
How do you stop and find it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think for me, it's just immediate gratification takes too long. We're in a society, kind of a microwave society, where you want everything to happen.
And I know what you mean, and I've got that, I'm an instant gratification kind of gal, and so, I'll try anything, right? And then it's the yo-yo effect, and so I would lose weight, and then, okay, great, I've hit my goal, and then you're back to a regular lifestyle, and, like you said, so now I understand what was happening is I have less muscle mass, and so then I go back to eating the same calories, and I actually gain weight eating the same calories that I was before, and so it's that wonderful yo-yo effect.
It's that wonderful yo-yo effect, which is really scientifically proven.
But it sounds like you're saying you can actually change your metabolism. Is that true?
You can change your metabolism. And I think what we're saying is with the, the constant dieting cycle that people are dropping their metabolism, they're losing calorie burning capacity. I mean, and so that's, and if the more diets you've been on, the more impacted potentially your metabolism may be. So then with the right amount of protein enhanced with leucine, we actually are able to help people rebuild some of their muscle. It takes a little exercise. I mean, it's easier to maintain your muscle mass than it is to rebuild it. Rebuilding it takes a little bit of work because you got to exercise along with the right amount of protein and the right amount of amino acids.
I have one question about the leucine. And so, we kind of are hearing that that's like the magic behind, some of this weight loss. So why not just go out and buy, do they sell leucine tablets? I mean, can you just take leucine? Would that make sense?
Sure, yeah. Well, you could try it, but I will tell you that you won't be able to gag them down because they taste really bad. So leucine is actually very kind of metallic tasting. It's also very fluffy. So in order to get the amount of the grams of leucine that you need actually to help preserve your muscle mass, you would have to consume, a handful of tablets, and it wouldn't taste very good. So there's actually a significant amount of sophistication to create a great tasting product that provides you the amount of leucine that you need, the amount of protein, not a lot of calories, packed with nutrition. I mean, again, that's not an easy feat.
So Dr. Jamie, while we still have you here, will you please answer some questions that we might have?
Sure, Jane, that'd be great.
Why do I need 2 shakes?
Well, you need 2 shakes because we need you to decrease your calories in order to have success with any weight loss program. You definitely need to decrease your calories. So you want to get all the great nutrition you need, the amount of protein you need, and of course the amount of leucine that we feel that you need, but in a reduced number of calories. So really the only effective way to do that is using meal replacement shakes. And so we recommend 2 shakes to replace 2 of your meals, and then doing 1 healthy meal following our plan, and you're on your way towards success.
Great, thanks.
You could have the bar too, right?
Or you can have a bar now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great question.
Dr. Jamie, do I have to mix the shakes with milk or soy milk?
Well, that's an ideal way to go, but we also formulated it such that you had another option. Some people don't want to do milk or don't like soy milk, and so we created the formula such that you can do your 2 scoops or your packet mixed in either 8 ounces of non-fat milk or soy milk, or you can do 3 scoops and mix it in water. You're going to get essentially the same 24 grams of protein and approximately the same amount of leucine.
What if I wanted to mix it with like orange juice or something like that?
I don't recommend orange juice because we need you to have a certain amount of protein. So we talked about the 30% protein, a combination with leucine, and so in order to do that, you really do need to have an option that you're mixing in that contains protein. So either an extra scoop or the milk or soy milk.
Do you have to have the second shake for lunch?
You don't have to do it for lunch. You can do really breakfast and lunch, lunch and dinner, breakfast and dinner. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you do 2 shakes a day, because the 2 shakes and the bar are created to give you the amount of leucine we think is important, as well as the amount of protein that we think is important as well. And then it also gives you the least likelihood of sabotaging your program to a certain extent by virtue of what you might choose to eat as opposed to the shake.
Something you could do in replace of the cinch bar? a snack, a different kind of snack that you could have?
Well, there are lots of healthy snack options. You can do carrot sticks or, vegetables, a piece of fruit, but I strongly recommend that people use the bars because it, again, is another source of leucine. It's another source of protein. It's going to be more filling in general for people. Protein is really great for helping you with, helping you to kind of have a more stable blood sugar and to deal with hunger the best. And so proteins are really your friend. And so a protein bar, enhanced with leucine is really the best way to go. But again, we give you on the Cinch Club and in the Success Guide some options for healthy snacks, just so you can have an alternative if you want.
Why should I drink the Cinch Energy Tea?
Well, it's a great question, and the reason we like the Cinch Energy Tea is because it contains green tea catechins. Tea is a great source of natural energy, so it's a good healthy option. It doesn't contain a lot of the calories that a lot of the sugary alternatives. A lot of people go get a coffee drink or a soda, and those are generally going to be full of calories and full of things that you don't necessarily need and are not going to help you feel great throughout the day. So the Cinch Tea was very carefully crafted to bring you a little extra green tea, but in a healthy fashion with only 5 calories.
Dr. Jamie, I have a question about those energy drinks. You see so many more people drinking them these days, and you even see kids at school drinking these drinks. Is that a good alternative?
Well, I personally don't think it's a great alternative, and I'm going to show you some actual examples of energy drinks because there's a lot, as you say, there's a lot on the market and there's a lot of choices.
And those are the ones.
And I think there's 3 main things to think about here. One is choose your calories carefully and choose your calories wisely. I mean, don't waste them on things that aren't necessarily going to, be beneficial for you, especially if you're on a weight control program. So you've got, the Red Bull kind of drinks out here, 160 calories, 40 grams of carbohydrates, 39 grams of which are sugar. Okay, so a lot of sugar there. Other alternatives are things like Go Girl. It's a sugar-free energy drink. Okay, it doesn't have any calories, but it also essentially has artificial sweeteners. How does it get to be those 0 calories? So you've got the artificial sweetener option. A lot of people really aren't interested in that. Or you have the high sugar alternatives, and then you have the coffee drinks, and there's lots of alternatives for that, and they can be anywhere from 200, 250 calories up to 400 or 500 calories depending on the size. You add sugar, syrups to them. You add the triple, quad options, and all of a sudden you've got you really have a drink that's going to potentially sabotage you getting good success by just having too many calories.
Dr. Jamie, why should I use Cinch protein shakes as opposed to the other protein shakes that are on the market?
Well, there's a lot of shakes to look at out there, and so you really want to focus in on what's different about our Cinch shakes compared to everything that's out there on the market, essentially. And what we have that nobody else has is leucine, added leucine into our shakes. We also have lots of other things that we stand for, including using non-genetically modified soy protein. We use no artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners. This is something that Shaklee stood for forever, and we're really proud about that. We have added some of the highest quality standards in the industry, and so I think that you can really use the Shaklee products with confidence, and when you know that you have a clinically tested product where we really have gone the extra distance. So it's a great product with the added free leucine that's going to help you get the best benefits you possibly can.
Can I continue to take other Shaklee supplements while on the Cinch plan?
I get that question regularly, and because we have a lot of great supplements in the Shaklee product line, you can take all of your Shaklee products and use Cinch. We've wrapped into the Cinch program between the 2 shakes a day and the amounts of vitamins and minerals that are there in the 3-in-1 Boost, approximately what you get from Vital E, so that you can not take your Vital E while you're on the program, or you can take your Vital E. These little extra vitamins and minerals are fine, so you kind of have that option. But all the other fiber products and Omega Guard and Osteomatrix and all the other great Shaklee products you definitely want to be taking for all the other health reasons.